Hello, my name is Sam, and you are watching Expressive Syntax, the show where together we learn about programming. Today we're going to be doing more Ruby Koans. Ruby Koans are a great way to practice programming language, practice Ruby specifically. There are other Koans in other languages, but today we're doing Ruby Koans. Last time we did about methods and learned all about methods. Today we're doing, we're doing about keyword arguments. This one's pretty short. We probably should have done this one last time with about methods, but it's fine. We'll just do it now. And since this one's short, we're probably also going to do about constants and learn about constants. So this is exciting. Let's dive right in. So let's start by running our tests and seeing what fails. This is how Koans work. You run your tests, see what fails, and then you fix it. Probably make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. Let me adjust a few things for your viewing pleasure. Make that nice and big. I made it too big. There we go. Make that a little bit bigger too. So you might notice a few changes. For one thing, I have this little character display thing. So if I press a key, you know what keys I'm pressing. See down here in the, let's see if I can get it to work. Oh no, I turned it off by accident. Yeah, there we go. So when I type something, like when I type backspace, it shows it down here in the bottom left-hand corner. So hopefully that'll be useful. You can follow along. Like if I do any, you know, special things, you can see what I do. Besides just typing, right? Like, because in an editor, there's all sorts of shortcuts. You know, I do Command P all the time to find files. I do Command F to search for things. And hopefully this will just be a little bit easier to see exactly what I'm doing and see what's going on. The other change you might have noticed is that I switched editor. So now I'm using Atom. And it's very similar to what I was using before. It's very similar to Sublime. But there are a few things that I like better. For one thing, it's very, like, it tells me what all the keyboard shortcuts for things are. So like if I do get blame, I can be like, oh, there's actually a shortcut for this, and so I can kind of learn all those shortcuts as I'm programming. I also like the search better. It automatically excludes everything that everything that's in your get ignore file. It doesn't search those files, which is nice. You probably are not doing anything with those files anyway, so you don't want to search them. And sometimes they're fairly large and full of cruft, and so you know it's nice to be able to just search the things that aren't in there. And it does that by default. And there's a few other things. My coworker told me about Atom and kind of like suggested that I try it. So thank you, Nat, if you're watching, for the suggestion. Anyway, okay, so back to the Koans. Where are we? Let me run the test and see where we're at. So about keyword arguments. Right, we're doing keyword arguments. I'm going to move this over here and get started. So we're on line 10. This is the test that's failing. Method with keyword arguments.class. So we call this method and we want to know the class of the thing that it returns. And here's the method. It takes two arguments and they're named, interestingly. This is not something we've seen before. So this is keyword argument and this is a keyword argument, 1 and 2. and it returns 1 and 2. So this is an array, right? On to line 11, cool. Method with keyword arguments. So now we're just calling it and seeing what it returns. So these are kind of like defaults like we saw before in methods, but the defaults have a name. So for one, it's okay. So default value here is 1. Default value here is 2. Since we're not passing anything in, it returns 1 and 2. The number 1 and the string 2. But you can override them by calling the method like this, where you say 1 is 1, the string 1, and then it returns, it uses that instead. So the answer is 1, and then since we didn't specify 2, it gives us the default. Similarly, for this, are we good? Let's try that. 21, yeah, nice. Okay, so keyword arguments with wrong number of arguments. So here we have another method with some keyword arguments, and it's called method with keyword arguments with mandatory argument. Okay. And we're calling it without passing anything, but this first argument is still required. There's no default, so you have to provide something. So it raises an error, and it wants to know what kind of error we have. Argument error? Right, that makes sense, because it's wrong number of arguments. So 24, and the message should match wrong number of arguments. Because you passed in 0 arguments, but you need at least 1 argument. Think about it. Keyword arguments always have a default value, making them optional to the caller. Yeah. So say you wanted to call this with these passing in something for these other 2 arguments. What would that look like? So you put something here, and then you can do 2. That doesn't really make sense, but you know, like that, for example. Right? Yeah. Cool. So keyword arguments always have a default value, but you're right. Okay. So where are we? About constants, line 10. We're on to constants. Nice. Good job with the keyword arguments. Those are useful. Now we're going to learn about constants. Okay. About constants. So we have a couple things. So we have this test. Nested constants may also be referenced with relative paths. Oh, okay. So here we have a constant c, top level, that has a value string top level. And here we have a value, the constant, it's also called c, and here its value is nested. So what is here when we call c? What value do we get back? I believe it's the one that is nested. Nested? Oops. 14. Yeah, okay. Top level constants are referenced by double colons. Ah, interesting. So if we have both of these, and we want to get to the top level one, we use this colon syntax. Top level. About constants and 18. Yeah. Nested constants are referenced by their complete path. So you can also do this. You can say about constants colon C, and this will get us the nested constant. Or colon about constants colon C to get the outer one? Is this top level? Top level. Let's try that. 18. Yeah, so I wasn't sure about that. So I got that wrong. To equal nested. So this is also nested. Interesting. Right? Wait. Expected top level to equal nested. I'm a little confused. So save, run the test. Where are we? 38. Okay, so it is nested. Okay. So this is like top level. Colon gets you to the top level, but then you do the class name and then colon and it digs down to the inner one. I guess that makes sense. Okay. Nested classes inherit constants from enclosing classes. Okay. Nested classes inherit constants from enclosing classes. So we have this complicated class structure where we have animal class, which has this method legs and animal, and then nested animal has the method legs and nested animal. And at the top level, we set legs to 4. And in each of these methods, what we do is we just return legs. Okay, got it. So now we do animal nested animal dot new. So we make a new one of these, and we call legs and nested animal. And so it looks up here to get this value and returns that. So 4, I think. On to line 50. Yeah, all right, cool. All right, and here we go. Much simpler. Reptile inherits from animal, legs in reptile. Subclasses inherit constants from the parent class. Yeah, so reptile is a child of animal. So it also knows about legs. So this is 4. Make a new reptile, call legs in reptile. That should be 4. Excuse me. On to line 66. Doing good. Okay, so now we have another class, myAnimals. Legs equals 2. And bird is nested in myAnimals, but inherits from animal. The question is, what is legs in bird? Ooh. I assume that's the question. I'm gonna think about it before I scroll down. I'm guessing that it'll be 2. I don't have a good reason behind that. It's just sort of my intuition. But let's see. Who wins with both nested and inherited constants? Legs and bird. What do you think? 2 or 4? The fact that most birds have 2 legs maybe kind of gives it away here. But I wonder why that is. Well, okay, let's see. 81. Yeah, so the answer is 2, which means that it gets it from my animals, the class that it's nested inside, and not from animal, the class that it inherits from. Huh. Interesting. Which has precedence, the constant in the lexical scope or the constant from the inheritance hierarchy? The one in the lexical scope, apparently. All right. My animal's oyster inherits from animal. Legs and oyster. Who wins with explicit scoping on class definition? What? I don't know. Oysters have 0 legs, so I'm going to put in 0. But I'm going to have to think about this a little bit more. 81. Wait, that's not right? Oh, it's 4. Okay, so who wins with explicit scoping on class definition? So here we say oyster is sort of nested in my animals, but it inherits from animal. An animal has 4 legs. So it's 4. Now, which has precedence, the constant in the lexical scope or the constant in the inheritance hierarchy? Why is it different than the previous answer? So now, I just want to check. Yeah, so it's the one in the inheritance hierarchy. Why is this different from the previous answer? So my gut says it's because, like, I don't know. This is all a little bit. I don't know why, but I feel like it kind of makes sense how this is here and it gets it from the scope. But since it's sort of yeah, it's different, right? Because here it's like explicit, and here it's kind of not, and so you have to look in the parent. Sure, there's a better way to explain that. If you can explain that better, please post a comment in chat or post a comment in the comments section. I'd love to hear your explanation. But this is interesting. I feel like I'm learning stuff. This is great. Yeah, lexical scope versus inheritance constants. Cool. Well, that didn't take long. Let me see. Where are we? What is the next thing? About control statements. Ooh, this is fun. It is kind of late though. I think I'll leave control statements for next time, unless it's really short. No, this is complicated. I'll do this next time and it'll be fun. All right. So this is Expressive Syntax. I'm Sam. Thanks for programming with me. I stream every Thursday at 7:30 on Twitch. If you go to twitch.tv/expressive syntax, you can find me. Or if you go to, I also post these on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and look for expressive syntax, Ruby Koans, you'll find my videos. Next week we'll be doing control statements, if, else. I'm very excited about that because that's just classic programming stuff. It'll be fun. All right, bye.